Hey, welcome back to CrossTalk podcast. I'm Tomoya.
Hi, I'm Andrea.
So the flu is going around. We have heard many people got the flu recently.
Yeah, actually, we have. Yeah, a lot of our students here at the place where we work, and also I teach, part-time at other places. A lot of my students elsewhere have been getting sick, but it's starting to get better, I think.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
One of our listener, Mixon, asked us, did you guys take a vaccination?
No, I did not, and I will not this year.
You will not take a vaccination?
I will not.
Oh, my God. What happened?
Well, I usually don't, and I don't have anything against vaccines. I think they're very good. It's just that I don't work with small children, and I don't work with elderly people, usually. And I'm in pretty good health, so I don't feel that it's extremely dangerous for me to get the flu. But also, you kind of need to get the flu vaccines around October, November.
Right. It's kind of too late, though.
It's kind of too late. And also, like, around that season, the balance is, like, getting the vaccine before you catch a cold. Because if you have a cold, you shouldn't get the vaccination. And I had a cold, kind of light, a very, very light cold back in October, I think, maybe.
Okay.
So I did not get it this year, and I usually don't anyway. How about you? Did you?
I haven't got a vaccination yet.
Okay.
And
Are
I'm
you going to?
I don't think so, to be honest.
Okay, because you said yet, so that means maybe you were thinking about it.
I'm thinking about it, and because I have heard many people caught the flu, but as you said, it's already December. I feel like it's kind of too late, but it's maybe not too late. Anyway, I'm kind of busy right now, and end of the year is coming very, very soon.
Yeah,
so it's hard to find the time for me to get a vaccination.
Yeah. The other thing is, like, after I had the flu vaccination and the coronavirus vaccination, I felt really sick for about 2 days afterwards. And so it made it really hard to work and to get things done because I just felt miserable. I felt feverish and sick and just tired, and I didn't want to go to work, but I had to. So I don't like feeling like that. So I won't get the vaccination.
Yeah, I'm just trying to stay healthier, and like washing my hands.
Yeah.
I didn't wear my mask.
No, I tend to not wear masks either unless I have to. I don't like wearing masks. Washing my hands, I wash my hands a lot too, though. I'm like you. I wash my hands constantly.
Yeah.
And also, last year I started drinking R1, the drink yogurt. And last year I didn't get sick at all. And then this year I got a little bit sick, but only because I didn't start drinking R1 until a little bit later than I should have. But it does, I think, help boost my immune system.
Yeah.
So.
All right, as I said, end of the year is coming very soon.
Yes, it is.
The things are getting busier for many, many people.
Yeah, this is one of the busiest months in the calendar year.
Maybe some people forgotten the act of kindness to other people. So I found a really interesting ideas and the news for this December.
Okay.
And let me share it.
Okay.
Have you guys heard of Advent calendars before?
Advent calendars. I have. I know what they are.
Yeah.
Of our listeners, yeah.
Yeah. Advent calendars are really common in Europe.
Yeah, I think it's a European thing. It's not, we have them in America now, but fairly recently. They're kind of a newer Christmas item.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I heard this Advent calendar like 2 or 3 years ago. Tech savvies are
really?
talking about this Advent calendar. Yeah.
Oh.
I have known the word, but I didn't know the meaning of it.
Okay.
So Advent calendar is countdown calendars for Christmas.
Right.
And usually they have 24 little doors or boxes from December 1st to 24th.
That's right. Yeah. So there's like a little box or, something that you can open on the calendar. That's right.
Yeah. And you open one door every day. And inside of there is a small chocolate.
Yeah, usually chocolate or candy or like a little tiny toy for children. Yeah.
Yeah. Or a message, perhaps.
For children, it's usually candy or a tiny toy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the fun way to count down the days until Christmas, especially
right.
for children.
Yeah, that's right. I don't actually know the history of the Advent calendar, but like as we mentioned, they are European, and I think they're pretty old. But yeah, like these started to be popular in America, I would say like 15, 20 years ago. And then I have seen them in Japan like within the last 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
Usually like some chocolate company will make it.
So I didn't know this origin of Advent calendar. The first I saw this Advent calendar is, like I said, it was on the internet tech-savvy community.
Oh, okay.
Started talking about this Advent calendar. They put up the commitment, like usually a blog, that they have done something really nice. And then share it to the tech-savvy community.
Okay, so it's like an information Advent calendar?
Right.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And then each day, different person put on this blog
Okay.
until the 24th.
Okay, which is Christmas Eve.
Right.
Yep.
And then we enjoy this, this guy's commitment.
Okay, that's interesting. I've never heard of anything like that. Usually it's a physical thing, usually something to eat.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But there is a news about this Advent calendar from other country. I forgot where, but
Okay.
Probably South Africa or something.
Okay.
The community made a kindness Advent calendar. Gives you one small act of kindness every day.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
So instead of giving a chocolate or knowledge, these guys, this community, have decided to give a small act of kindness to someone.
Okay, that's actually very nice. And this is more adult. Like, I think of Advent calendars as being for children, but this is more for adults, and it's more like non-consumer base. It's actually, instead of you getting something, it's you doing something for someone else, which I think is really nice. And that's actually in the spirit of Christmas. I think the spirit of Christmas is for us to help other people and to think about other people.
Yeah.
That's what I think about for Christmas.
A small act of kindness it's easy to say, but hard to act.
It is, actually. It is.
For example, say thank you to someone in your family is one thing you can do today.
Okay. That's pretty easy to do.
Yeah. Or give someone an honest compliment.
Okay, that's nice too.
Be kind to yourself.
Does that count?
I guess.
I would think an act of kindness is for someone else.
Yeah. What if you needed to commit a one small act of kindness? What would you do?
What sorts of things?
Yeah.
For example, things like helping your elderly neighbor. Like maybe your neighbor needs help taking their trash out, or maybe your neighbor needs help going shopping, something like this that I could easily do. Helping elderly people cross the road. Because like in my neighborhood, there are no stop signs, there are no stoplights, and it's very dangerous sometimes. If you have anyone who's sick, maybe deliver them some groceries so they don't have to go out and go shopping while they're sick. Things like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I needed to make one small act of kindness, I would let someone go first or something.
Oh, while you're driving?
While driving.
Okay, that counts. I think that counts. Yeah. So actually, it's kind of popular now in America. I mean, even separate from Advent calendars, for people to do an act of kindness for other people.
Yeah, we talked about this theme before.
Yeah, I think we have. Yeah. And I think at that time we mentioned like some restaurants will let people pay in advance for like extra meals. And then if someone who needs a meal, if they're hungry, they can come in and get a free dinner or something like that.
Oh.
So you go to a restaurant, for example, you buy your food and then you buy food for someone else, and you make the store makes a coupon that someone can come and take the coupon and get a free dinner.
Oh, that's
if they're hungry.
That's a nice system.
Yeah, it is a very nice system. Things like that are kind of popular in America.
So it's just for someone who are hungry.
Yeah, like homeless people,
Okay.
for example. Just people who don't have enough food.
Okay. That's a nice movement.
Yeah.
And
I think we did talk about that before. You're right.
Yeah, yes. You talked about pay it forward.
Yeah.
Right? So it means someone does something kind for you.
You're right. And then you pay it forward. You do something kind for the next person.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like a chain reaction where one person's action affects the next person, and that person affects the next person, and that person affects the next person. So it just keeps going down the line.
Yeah. So I have researched about this chain reaction before this topic. There's this thing happened at Starbucks drive-through. One person pays for the drink behind them, and it starts a paid it forward chain. Car after car buying coffee for the next person, and ended up 300 something people pay it forward.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
Yes. But later, people online have been saying, actually, I feel kind of a pressure to keep it going.
Yeah, of course. Of course. There would be pressure to do that.
The question is, what does a nice gesture turn into? Too much.
Yeah, that's too much, I think.
That is 300 people paid forward.
Yeah, that's kind of a difficult question because, yeah, exactly. Where is the line? Like who is the person to say, okay, let's stop this?
Yeah.
My understanding of pay it forward, the concept of pay it forward is, if you see someone who doesn't have enough money to buy something, then you help them buy it. Like you pick up their bill, you pay for their coffee or whatever if they don't have enough money. Or like if they're just short a little bit, you like give them the rest of the money. And then, someone will be nice to you, or they've received something from you, so next time they pay for someone else. It doesn't necessarily, like that's kind of too much to be like in a drive-through.
Yeah.
And like every single person feels obligated to do it. It shouldn't be an obligation.
Right.
It should just be, okay, I see you right now. You're having trouble right now. I'll help you right now. And then when you can, sometime in the future, when you can help someone else. But there's no obligation to do that. And you don't have to, right?
Yes.
That's my understanding of pay it forward. Not like everyone in the Starbucks line has to do it. That's crazy.
Have you seen someone paid it for you?
No, I have not.
Me neither.
It doesn't happen in Japan.
I never heard of it.
Never happens in Japan. No, never happens here. Never seen it happen. But then again, like people don't buy things that they don't have money for also.
Right. Yeah. So sometimes kindness can actually feel like a pleasure, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So we call this Arigata-Meiwaku in Japanese.
Arigata-Meiwaku.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, but
it's a troublesome.
It's
troublesome. Yeah. Thanks, but no thanks.
Yes. And I try to find a proper way to say this in English. Unwanted favor.
Ah, yeah. Okay. That works. Unwanted favor. Yeah.
Or what else you can think of?
Unsolicited help.
Unsolicited help.
Yeah.
It's kind of a harsh word.
Yeah, but then like so is unwanted favor. That sounds like, oh, I don't want it, but you've made me accept this favor anyway. I mean, it's all kind of, it has that negative nuance, right? Yeah.
Yes. Have you ever encountered this unwanted help to you or to someone?
Yeah, I'm sure I have. Yeah, definitely I have.
Yeah, it's...
But I don't want to complain because the person had good intentions.
Yeah. It's really hard to know if that was the unwanted help. But it actually happened to me quite recently, a few days ago.
What happened?
There was two female foreigners standing very close to my parking. I can literally see them. Like it's just right there.
Okay. So they were blocking your car in, basically.
They are not standing in front of me, but they were stood on the side of the corner near my parking.
Okay. How was that unwanted attention or unwanted help or whatever? Unsolicited help.
Right. So here's the detail. So they were checking their phones seems like they were looking for a restaurant.
Okay.
I was kind of debating whether should I help or not. I talked them anyway.
Good. That's nice.
I said, are you guys looking for a restaurant, something? They looked at me and their face were a little skeptical.
Okay.
Like not really like a...
Why are you talking to us?
Yeah.
Why is this strange man talking to us? Yeah.
And I suddenly noticed, okay, these doesn't need my help. And I just, okay. They say, it's okay.
Okay, yeah.
And I said, okay.
That happens often around here, actually.
Oh, really?
But I thought, because I'm not Japanese, right? And so when I approach someone else who's not Japanese, I think they are kind of caught off guard. They're kind of caught by surprise by someone talking to them, number one. But then number two, they probably don't want advice from another foreigner. They probably want advice from a Japanese person. Or maybe they really are just okay. That's probably what it is.
So this made me think of, I thought maybe I looked kind of weird to them.
No, I think it's always nice. And people do appreciate like people looking out for them. I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Because I hear foreign tourists say, you know, they enjoyed being talked to by people. So not everyone hates it. It's just a matter of timing and, you know, whether the people need help or not. But yeah, I often approach foreign people, like tourists, when they're looking at their phones and they're kind of wandering around. And usually they say, no, I don't need help. I'm okay.
Yeah.
But they like to explore. So
yes. Anyway, I didn't have much time to help, so it was okay.
It didn't happen to me, but here's a story of Arigata-Meiwaku.
Yes.
So I used to work with a teacher. She was an English teacher, but she is Japanese. We're still friends. I'm going to say is. She used to schedule her weekly meals like in detail. So like 1 week's worth of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Well, lunch she ate at school. So breakfast and dinner, she would schedule what she was going to make. And then she would go shopping for that food and buy like 1 week's worth of food. And she would get so irritated, like, because we worked in a pretty big school. People would bring in like, oh, here's some persimmons from my house. I have extra here. Take these. Or, oh, here's some mekons. We have extra mekons. And, you know, here's some this or here's some that. They would give other people food, right, that they grow. And she would get so irritated. She'd be like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, I already planned my weekly dinner. Like, I don't need this. And now I have to think about like what to do with it. I have to change my plan. So for her, it was a meiwaku. It was troublesome because she'd already made her weekly meal plan. But on the other hand, like someone's given you a gift, right? So it is arigatai. It is thankful. But that's an example of arigata-meiwaku, I think, or unsolicited help.
Wow, yeah.
Unsolicited gifts, I guess. Yeah.
Right.
Didn't happen to me. This was someone else. I'm always happy when people give me food.
Yeah, it's always difficult to find what this person wants, what this person need.
Yeah, and different people have different wants and needs. And, you know, some people don't like to get food gifts, you know, because if it's not to their liking, then they have to figure out what to do with this, right?
Yes.
This does happen to me in a way. This is a very basic example, but like my mother-in-law is an older Japanese woman. She lives by herself. When she goes shopping, she buys food for one person. But then when we go to visit, or if my husband goes to visit, she'll give him whatever she has in her freezer or whatever, her pantry. And it'll be like one piece of fish and one dorayaki or, you know, one piece of bread or something. But it's like, well, that's really nice, but we're a family of 4, so it doesn't really help us out any. And it's a nice gesture, but it's kind of meiwaku because, like, what do I do with one fish? What do I do with one fish? You know, what do I do with one piece of bread? You know,
right?
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I wish she wouldn't do that. Actually, I wish she would keep it for herself.
Yeah.
That's arigata-meiwaku too. That's unsolicited help.
Yes.
Unsolicited food gifts.
Yeah, the best kindness is usually the one the other person actually wants.
Yes. Hard to know though, as you mentioned.
Right. All right, so we hope you enjoyed this episode.
We have a question for you guys, our listeners. Have you ever experienced kindness that felt like it was too much or something that was unwanted or unsolicited, let us know.
And if you made your own kindness advent calendar, what's the one act of kindness you would put it on for this week?
That's a good question. Yeah. What's one thing nice you would do for someone else? That's good.
Right.
Okay. Tell us your answers or your comments on Instagram, Spotify comments, or on YouTube. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say.
And we are always looking for new episode ideas. What would you like us to talk about next? Okay, that's all for this episode. But don't forget, catch your next one.
This is CrossTalk signing off, bringing you English your way every week.
Keep listening and keep shining.
Bye.